Welcome to the Mystic Access Podcast,
where the magic is in learning. Hi, everyone. Welcome to the Mystic Access Podcast for February 17th, 2026. He's Chris.
She's Kim.
And we have a plethora of smaller topics and demos to do today. And we hope there's something here that you will find interesting or valuable or perhaps will learn from. We've got a couple no-tech. We've got a couple of kind of low-tech options. And then we have at least one thing you can geek out about and then something kind of unusual. So quite a bit on the plate here to talk about, but it's all going to be fun. And we're going to start, as I start in all of my Our Special magazine articles that I do for NBP's Our Special magazine, which I am editor of. I do a column called Everyday Technology Solutions. And in each article, I focus on something that is no-tech, low-tech, and high-tech. And if you are a woman who is interested in lots of diverse content, you should definitely check out Our Special. We have a lot of fun creating content every other month, and I work with some really talented columnists. All of us are blind women, and if you're interested or you have a woman in your life who perhaps would be, you're welcome to tell them about it. I will put a link in the show notes, but you can begin by going to nbp.org for National Braille Press and typing in Our Special, and you'll be able to find the magazine. And we do have a lot of fun topics in there. So just a fun, quick plug for that. We always love getting new subscribers and having more people find us. Anyway, as I was saying, each of my columns focuses on a no-tech, low-tech, and high-tech solution. We're going to start out today by talking about something that really involves no technical skills whatsoever. Although it does involve a skill, and a skill that you can improve by using this device. Do you want to talk about when we first saw this device?
Yeah, it was pretty cool. It is the Braille Doodle. This allows you to draw. It's kind of like an Etch-a-Sketch. You have a little stylus, and you rub the stylus across the platform, and it will raise up the dots. But it does a heck of a lot more than that.
So how were we introduced to it in the real world?
We were introduced to it at ACB convention last year. We walked up to the booth, put our hands on it, and Kim immediately said she had to get one. So she got one.
I got one. It took a while to get here, but I got one. Chris was actually in the hospital when it arrived, so I didn't get a chance to play with it very much for a little while, but I feel comfortable enough now with it to talk to y'all a bit about it and have Chris share his thoughts about it as well. And what I liked about it was the art side, because I am not an artsy person. I've never really felt like I've gotten to be an artsy person, but that I would be if I were sighted, perhaps. So I kind of wanted something that would fuel my creativity a little bit in terms of this type of artistic pursuit. Many of you know that I'm a musician and a singer. I kind of fuel my artistic love that way. And I'm a writer too, so I guess that fuels that as well. But in terms of when I'm thinking art, in this case, or talking about art, I'm talking about, painting, sculpting, sketching, things like that. This kind of makes that at least a possibility for me. I don't know if any of you used like crayons and screen boards when you were younger and how you could feel the drawing of the crayon through the screen board. I always really loved that. So this is kind of like that for me, except cooler. It kind of scratches that itch. But the other thing you can do on the Braille Doodle, of course, is learn or teach Braille. When I was in third grade, I had multiple friends who I actually taught Braille, and most of them learned it through sight reading the Braille, so they would physically look at it. But I had a couple friends, one in particular, who was able to learn Braille and read Braille by touch. She was a brilliant person and able to figure that out relatively quickly and easily. So she had a lot of fun doing that. This is a way to teach probably mostly blind kids or blind adults Braille, or people perhaps losing their vision Braille, because you do get that tactile aspect, but maybe you could also look at it as well and learn that way. And certainly you would learn the mechanics of Braille if you were learning to write on this thing. Talk a little bit, though, about the Braille cell. We'll talk a little bit more about it in detail in a second, but you were actually commenting on the size of the Braille cells. This is a two-sided device, and there are actual big Braille cells on the Braille side.
Yeah, the Braille cells are a little bigger than one would think, which is a good thing. On the flip side of the device, you can actually learn Braille. So if you're trying to write Braille, they've got, for like, say the letter A, they've got a practice cell, which all dots come up. And they've got a different cell next to it that only the dot one would show up, which is kind of interesting.
Yeah, it's pretty cool. So if you've never seen one of these, let me grab mine and we'll talk about it a little bit. So it comes in this nice box, and somehow when I opened my nice box, it kind of got destroyed. It does have a handle on the front, a little plastic handle that kind of retracts. Like I said, my box got a little messed up upon opening it, so I'm not real comfortable carrying mine by the handle, unfortunately, anymore. But
you can get a case for it.
Yeah,
somewhere.
you could. Really?
I don't know if they have a manufactured case, but any laptop case should fit that.
Sure, that's true, and that's probably a good idea, actually. I would rather do that than keep it in this box. So the box lid is just a standard cardboard box, except it's got that little plastic handle in it. The lid pops up, and inside is the device itself. It's a rectangular device. It's blue. In terms of length, it's about almost 13 inches long. You can kind of get an idea about the size of it, and that's at its largest point, is the length. As I said, on the one side, you have Braille. On the bottom, there are two lines of Braille. One is the alphabet, lowercase a through Z, and under that is the line, the quick brown fox jumps over the lazy dog. You'll kind of know you have it oriented correctly if you can read the Braille. This is the Braille side. When you're using the Braille side, the stylus, which is integrated into the device, it kind of has a little spot that it sits in the device, and there's a spring on it that keeps it attached to the device and allows you to stretch the stylus and move it across the Braille Doodle. The Braille Doodle is a plastic device, and the cells are plastic, but they have little magnets inside that you can use to raise the pens or the dots. Up on top, there is a print line, and I believe it says Doodle? Not exactly sure. Braille Doodle? Maybe Braille Doodle. I think that's right. That's on top, so you'll also be able to read that and know that you have the Braille side oriented properly. If you're looking at this side, on the top, you're going to have these multiple cells that Chris was talking about. So for instance, on the top left, you're going to have a cell, which is called the sample cell with the A. And down at the bottom of that cell, you're going to find the print A in raised print. That's the sample cell, big 6-dot cell, as you would expect. Next to that, you're going to find the practice cell, and down below it is the Braille A. So you'll see what that's all about. And then you'll have the same thing. Print B in the sample cell, Braille B in the practice cell, and the first line goes all the way through H. The next line goes through P. The next line goes through X. And let me go down and talk about the next line, the last line. So you just want to remember that below each cell is the corresponding letters that you would use for the sample cells. The cell that starts with Y goes YZ, and then there's a capital, a number sign, 3, 4, 5, 6, an and sign, 1, 2, 3, 5, 6, for sign, of, and the. In order to separate these cells, all these different cells, the lines of cells are separated by horizontal lines that you can feel. They're very tactile. So underneath these letters and contractions, you're going to have two lines of Braille that you can just practice doing anything you want. So you could write the alphabet, or you could write the quick brown fox, or you could write whatever you want in those lines of Braille. There are also vertical lines that help to separate out all this text. So at the ends on either side of the display and in between the cells, the big giant Braille cells, or at least most of the Braille cells, you will find these horizontal lines. The only ones that don't have those, they have smaller lines that aren't as tactile, vertical lines. And the only ones that don't have these, they have less tactile lines, are these cells on the bottom two lines. So you can kind of freestyle or write whatever you want on those. Hopefully that makes sense in terms of kind of what the Braille side of the device looks like. Now I'm going to take the stylus out and let's talk about the stylus for a second. The stylus kind of looks like a pen. It's plastic. And at the tip, there is this movable magnetic nib, I guess. Kind of like what you would think of as the writing surface of your pen. Except this is what you put into the cells to raise the buttons. So if I go up here to this A, the sample A, if I put my little pen in any of these other spots, nothing happens. But if I put it into the A, dot 1, I can raise that dot 1 up. Do it again. And if I want to erase it, I can just knock it down with my finger, and that'll put put dot 1 back. So let's find another thing. Let's find the Q. So if I want to do a Q, I can only do 1, 2, 3, 4, 5. And there's my Q. So I'm able to raise up my Q, and this dot 6, you can't do anything with the dot 6. Now talk a little bit about how I could erase more than just by using my finger.
On the stylus, there's a flat portion. If you take that flat portion, you can scrub it across the pins and knock them down.
So I've kind of done that, and my Q is all gone. Or you could use it if you had a whole bunch of stuff on the side, like if I was making an entire alphabet. So let's see, A. I'm going to go into this next cell and write a B, B, C, D, and we'll do an E. So now if I want to erase all that, I can just use my little... There's actually 3 kind of flat portions on the pen, but there's one that's larger.
Yeah, it's a larger flat portion.
So you want to find that larger flat portion, and you can just go... I'm not really good at it, actually. Oh, there we go. I got it all. So you can just erase all of that. You can practice Braille. You can practice numbers. You can practice contractions. You can maybe learn UEB on it. There's all kinds of things you could do with this surface. Or certainly you could teach someone else. It would be a really awesome tool. Let's say you have a sighted friend who's really interested in such things. You could maybe write their name on it, like Kelly or John or whatever. Or you could write a sentence on there like, "Hi, you are my best friend." Or, "Hey, it's Valentine's Day," or a little past Valentine's Day as we are writing this recording. So you could always write, "I love you," and your loved one's name on the Braille side of this thing.
You can probably do it on the other side too, but this gives you kind of a cheat sheet, if you will.
It kind of also gives you lines in which to use your cells.
True.
So it'd be a little easier. It'd be like writing on lined paper. A little easier than the drawing side. I think of the drawing side as kind of your more freestyle spot. Because you don't have the lines. You have some kind of horizontal lines that just kind of give you some places in which to draw. But I think those are also for like graphing and things like that to help you graph. I'm not a math person, so graphing I will not be doing. This side is definitely more structured. So if we want to talk about the other side, you can flip the whole thing over. And you heard me do that. Now the stylus is on my right. So it's still in my right hand because I'm right-handed, but it's on the right-hand side of the device, whereas it was on the left-hand side before. And I always think left for learning, right is for the drawing side. I just erased a couple dots that were up on the right-hand side. So this side has essentially 4 big rectangles surrounded by some lines, but you don't really have to worry about those. They're not going to be in your way or anything if you just want to freestyle around it. So here, you can just draw, and I'm not good, anything your little heart desires. So I just tried to draw a circle. It doesn't look much like a circle. So you can do pretty much anything you want on this side. And you can try and do, I don't know, a heart. Let's see. Nah, that's not much of a heart, Kim. It's more for having fun, I feel like. Like for me, I just feel like this is kind of a fun thing. Oh, that's the saddest little heart I've ever seen.
It's a broken heart.
It's a sad looking heart. That doesn't even look like a heart. I'm so bad at this, but it's fun. Oh, and just a fun trivia note. Apparently, and I can't remember which side, maybe it's this side, there are 1,333 of these magnetic pens. That's just a kind of a wild, fun thing to note about that. You can draw. You can write stuff. You could draw and write.
I don't suggest taking it apart.
Oh, I definitely wouldn't take it apart. You know what would be hard about writing in this thing, though? You don't have actual cells, so it might be a little trickier to actually write on this side. You would have to kind of guess what you were doing. I could draw... I could just make little straight lines. I could make a little weird little shape. I don't know. I'm not good at it, but... And you can hear when the stylus goes in there, and then if I want to erase, like I said, I can use my finger, or I can... come in here on with the side and kind of erase. This thing also has a breaking in period, so the more you use it, the easier it will get to move things around. So you've got this whole surface for doing whatever you want. Now you don't have to punch too hard into these pens. You can just gently move your thing around because they're magnets, you know. And you can make all kinds of weird little shapes, and I'm trying to make like a curly Q. It's fun. It's just kind of a way of channeling creativity. If you don't talk to people like on a phone or something during the day, or you're in a boring meeting and you're muted, make sure you're muted. You could use this as a little fidget tool. you got all kinds of things you can do with this side. But they've also made it kind of fun for you as well if you don't feel like you're much of an artist and you want something to trace. Inside the box, in addition to a page of Braille instructions, there's a second page too, and the website says you get 2 pages of instructions, but my guess is the second page just must be a printed page, because one page is a double-sided Braille page. But you also get these 3 plastic...
I would say they're templates.
Yeah, they're kind of templates that you can put on top of the drawing side, because there are little holes or slits on the sides where you can fit these things in, and there are different ways to orient them. And you can use these little stencils to create things. The one is a drawing of a house and a tree. And on the top of this house and tree, there is a print H on the top left. And that will show you how to orient it. And then you can put the stencil over the top, and you'll know you have it right when you shove it all the way to the bottom and it stays there. Now, I wish there was one at the top that would also anchor it up at the top where the large print tactile writing is, but there isn't. Other than that, I think it's very cool, and it covers up what you don't need so that you can only raise the dots that you do need to make the house and the tree.
It reminds me of a light bright, because that's what happened with a light bright, is that when you put the stencil over the grid that's got all kinds of holes, and then you take the little pins that you would then use the light bright and puncture through those predefined holes, it kind of reminds me of that. And if you've ever seen a light bright, you know exactly what I'm talking about.
There are 2 other stencils in addition to the house and the tree. There's one that to me looks kind of like a grid of little tiny squares, and I think this is for math of some sort. The other one has the big giant Braille cells. If you wanted kind of to structure that drawing side a little bit and do something with that, you could put this on there and write Braille, or I don't know, maybe do a combination of things on there with a Braille grid. You've got some options that are a little less freestyle that you can do with the help of the stencils. It's a pretty cool device. It's not something that I think I'll play with on a daily basis, but I do really like it. It's fun. You can go to touchpadprofoundation.org/directions, and you can see some YouTube videos and you can read some lessons. And these are especially useful if you want to teach someone Braille, or if you are considering teaching Braille. It gives you some really fun things and some mnemonics and some tips that can help teach someone else. And it also gives you a nice orientation to the Braille Doodle and more information about how to orient it and use it yourself. Apparently, they're going to continue to add information to this. For instance, in one of the lessons or one of the YouTube vids, I'm not sure which, it mentions that there'll be a lesson on like art and perspective and how to use the doodle to assist with that. So that sounds kind of cool. That's something that I'd like to do. Oh, it was in the covers lesson about the house. They were saying that eventually they'd put in a video about, like, maybe if you didn't want to fill in the entire house stencil, that you could learn more about perspective and things like that using the doodle. So I'd be particularly interested in checking that out for myself and learning more about how that might happen from a tactile perspective. I'd be interested in that. You'll definitely find your own things about it to love, and I just think it's cool. I would love to use this as a teaching tool. I think that would be really cool. I also just love having it for fun. This was, how much was this? $150?
That was on sale.
Yeah, it was on sale for $150.
So
that
we're
was
not going to quote prices
back
here
in convention season.
because
Yeah, we don't
who
know
knows?
now. But that's how much we paid for it.
It was reasonable.
It was. It was
Even
very
off sale.
It was very reasonable. You can check it out by going to touchpadprofoundation.org. That's TOUCHPADPRO foundation.org, and learn more. We got ours from AT Guys. You could check out their website, and perhaps they still offer it. This was out of stock for a long, long time. So as I said, I didn't get mine till December, but it was definitely worth the wait. It's a fun device, and I do think I will get some use out of it. My only other gripe, aside from when I'm putting in the stencil and would like a little more structure to that top part to kind of keep that in a little better, is when I put in you can hear it click. When I put in the stylus, I wish it was a little more stable. My spring likes to peep out and not stay in the little slot. So I wish that were slightly better integrated in there. It works. You just don't want to play with it too much or your stylus will fall out. And I've tried twisting the stylus around and trying to find different ways to seat it in there a little better, but still haven't found a answer that satisfies me perfectly. But those are very minor complaints. I think the idea is brilliant and really love what one can do with it and how much creativity you can kind of foster in yourself using something like this, or at least pretend to, in my case, because I don't know that I'm actually very creative when it comes to this kind of thing, but I like to pretend and fake myself out. But no, really, I do think it's fun and I enjoy playing with it, and I don't think I'll ever be the world's next great artist or anything. I like to play. It kind of brings out the kid in me a little bit. Not that it takes too much to do that, but still, it's fun, and I really enjoy playing with it and just kind of letting myself freestyle a little bit. See what kind of creations I can come up with, and they're not pretty, but I can use my imagination, right? So that's the Braille Doodle, and what do you think of it?
I think it's cool. It's a cool concept.
Yeah, so that's how that works. From Braille to something else that you touch. In this case, something a little unusual for us to talk about here on this podcast, but you guys know it's been a super cold winter up here in the Northeast. If any of you are here in the Northeast or in the Midwest, or at times even down south, it's been pretty cold this winter. I bought us a couple pairs of gloves. His are merino wool. Mine have completely gone out of my head, but it's llama wool. I feel so silly saying that because I know the name of it, and hopefully it'll come back to me in post-production. I can update you guys on what it actually is. The word I was looking for was alpaca. It's alpaca wool. They're super, super soft, but I didn't only get them for us because they were made out of super soft natural fibers, and they're not scratchy, and they're super warm. I got them for another reason. What's that?
They have stuff on the fingertips, some fingertips, that will allow you to use your phone with the gloves on. They will work with your touchscreen. I have to be careful because mine are only on the thumb and the pointer. They're not on any other finger. So if you have to do a multi-finger gesture, you're out of luck.
Definitely. And that's the reason that we wanted to mention it. Because while you can find lots of really cool, warm, lovely touchscreen gloves, most people, sighted people in particular, are not doing these multi-finger gestures. We are. A lot of times you won't even find out in the descriptions of things if you're buying online which fingers have that touch technology in the fingertips. Mine have the thumbs, pointer finger, and middle finger with the touch technology. So I can use all three of those. But if I'm doing a 3-finger gesture, a lot of times I will turn speech off on my phone. And so I'll have to use the side of my thumb and my first 2 fingers because those are the only fingers that allow me to do that. Or if you were going to turn screen curtain on and off, same kind of thing. You have to find creative ways to create some of these gestures. I use the gesture for 4 fingers to touch the screen to go up to the top a lot, and that's not very workable. I mean, I suppose I could try and do it with 2 hands, but...
How are you going to hold your phone?
Exactly. You would have to put your phone kind of on your knee or something like that to make that work, or smush it up against your purse if you're out in public. So you would have to come up with ways to make that work for you.
Chances are, though, if you're on the go, you're probably not going to do a multi-finger gesture anyway.
Exactly.
If you're moving and stuff like that.
You can type on it fine. There's no issue there. You can double-click the side button with no problem if you needed to have it recognize your face or make a purchase real quick, something like that. Most things you're going to do, I think in the situation that these are made for, would be fine. I don't think you're going to run into anything that you're really going to be hampered by, but it's something we wanted to mention because, especially now and through probably March, at least up here, these might come in really handy and be useful to have a nice, warm touchscreen glove. While that can be hard for some of us just because it's hard to feel things, especially if you have keys or something like that, it's still important because you may need your phone in a situation. You may need to make an unexpected call or disable your alarm or, in our case, unlock your door, something like that you need your phone for that maybe you aren't even anticipating, and you need to be able to use it. So you kind of need to be at least aware when you get your glove, test it out first, and kind of see what you have available in terms of your touchscreen surface. And certainly you can use these on Android, Fire OS, iOS. None of that is a problem. You just want to check which fingers you have. I think it would probably be very rare to find a glove that has all 5 fingers on each hand. It might be possible, but honestly, I don't even know how you'd look that up. Because that's not the kind of thing, as we said, that is going to be mentioned in a description online. And it's not really something you can try before you buy, even if you're out in public. Not real sure what to tell you. Sometimes it's the luck of the draw. Do read reviews, though, because if you're buying online, somebody might mention it. Or at least mention how good the touch sensitivity is. So that might tell you something. We got really lucky with ours. Both of them have really good touch sensitivity in the fingers that it is available for. In that sense, it's very nice. Just something to throw out there. Hopefully it'll help somebody. Do you like your gloves?
I do.
Are they nice and warm?
Yep.
Good. Mine
I
are
should
too.
go put them on.
I know. We get cold up here sometimes because we keep our heat intentionally low. So sometimes we'll wear our gloves around and just play on our phones with our gloves on. It's just one of the things we do. Now, one thing you can do, using your gloves or not, is play on your Android device. Let's switch gears a second and talk about Android, because you want to talk about something specific with Android devices, at least on a specific version.
I have a Samsung phone, and I haven't had it for a while because it was misplaced. I finally got it, turned it on. It was running Android 15 and some version of Talkback. I don't remember. So after about an hour or so of running update after update after update, the phone got Android 16 and it got Talkback version 16. And this is Samsung's version of Talkback. So it might have been behind. If what I state is incorrect, for Pixel users, for example, it works for my Samsung. So again, Android 16 and Talkback 16, we can now connect Braille displays that use the HID or Human Interface Device protocol, meaning the Brailliance, the Mantis, that kind of thing. You can just connect them and the Braille does work.
No more Braille back.
If we're talking about Braille, one thing that I find interesting is the Android Braille keyboard. I can't seem to figure it out. The touchscreen keyboard, it goes through a tutorial and it wants me to hold the phone a certain way, which is okay. But then when it tells me to press A, I press where I think the A should be, but it turns out to be like .5 or something. So I'm not quite sure what's going on with that one. But maybe someday I'll figure it out.
So this is without having any launchers or anything like that?
Right. It's the standard Samsung launcher and the, again, Android 16 for me and Talkback version 16.
Do you think a launcher keyboard would change that? Have you tried one or have you just tried that one?
It's stock built into Android. It's the Braille. It's kind of like what iOS would call Braille screen input.
Oh, so that would be the only way to access the Braille keyboard?
Yes. The on-screen, touchscreen Braille keyboard. I know we were talking about Braille displays for a second.
Oh, I got you.
This doesn't matter. It's what I ran into with the Braille screen input version of Android. I couldn't quite get it, so.
Well, in that instance, maybe plug in one of those nice displays that now works. No, I'm not really suggesting that. It is important to learn how to use both if you want that type of accessibility. Yeah. No, it's true. But it is nice to know that the Braille displays are also now available more easily, kind of more plug and play. That's really great. Because now, essentially, no matter what your display is, you're not going to have to worry about all these workarounds.
Right.
Which is
Before,
awesome.
you just couldn't use them.
Exactly.
So if you have an older phone that doesn't go to Android 16 or Talkback 16, you're not going to have the capability.
So if a Braille display is important to you, it might be worth considering that process of starting to upgrade your phone, saving your pennies, and getting a newer phone that will run these newer OS versions.
It does work.
So yeah, if any of you can help Chris out with this keyboard thing, let him know. Chris at mysticaccess.com. And I know he will be interested to hear that information. I know sometimes Braille screen input in any form can be a little unintuitive, shall we say?
It'd be kind of nice to figure it out.
Yeah. So now on to something totally different that I have no idea how to transition to. We're going to go back quickly to the health conversations that we've been having previously. As I think we mentioned in one episode, we've been through 3 pharmacies. Well, 2 are the same pharmacy, but 2 pharmacy locations and then a second pharmacy. We are now at CVS, and let's talk about one of the reasons why.
We already mentioned it. It's a Spoken RX, which is CVS's way to read prescription bottles.
So what you get is a prescription bottle with an RFID tag on the bottom of the bottle, and then you can use this little device to read it. Now, full transparency. You can also use the Spoken RX on your phone through the CVS app.
Correct.
This is very usable and very doable. You go to the pharmacy dashboard, then you go to, I think, prescriptions.
No, you go to more.
Oh, you go to more? Is it more? And then eventually you will find something called Spoken RX. You'll open it up, and it'll say ready to scan. And then you'll be able to scan using your phone's camera. And
it's not your camera.
No?
It's the RFID tag reader that's built into your phone.
So how do you hold your phone in order to scan?
Doesn't matter.
Doesn't matter?
No. You just tap the bottle right near the RFID reader, which is kind of near the camera, but it's not the camera. I just want to make that perfectly clear. So you're not using your camera in any way, shape, or form. Your iPhone since iPhone 6, possibly. Whenever Touch to Pay or Apple Pay came out, on whatever phones those are, they have RFID readers in them. Any phone past that will have the RFID reader in it. The CVS app with the Spoken RX takes advantage of that RFID reader.
So it will read all your prescription info, who prescribed it, prescription number, your name, your address, pharmacy name, pharmacy address, or at least pharmacy phone number. I think address also.
I don't think it reads our addresses either, for whatever reason.
We know they're on there. We know they're on the bottle.
We know they're on the bottle, but I think you might know your own address.
Well, of course you would, but I was trying to determine whether or not it actually read
does not.
The address.
I know that for sure.
Okay.
It does not.
So it's on the bottle, but that doesn't read it. But it will read you not only the name and the dosage of your drug, but also any instructions, when to discard, stuff like that. So you'll be able to get that information. Well, Chris being Chris wanted to also experience the Spoken RX hardware. And we're going to talk about that in a second, but first let's talk a little bit about what we had to do to get it. You have to actually go online and sign up for it.
You have to register it, your name, and all that other stuff. Say that you actually want a reader. Tell them where your pharmacy is located. And the reader gets shipped to the pharmacy.
And you have to go pick it up.
Right. For whatever reason, they won't deliver the reader, which is kind of interesting. They'll deliver your medicine, but they won't deliver your reader.
The reader's free. You can get one per patient. I must admit, it's pretty darn cool. So let's talk about it. It is both battery operated, or you can plug it in using, what, a USB-C?
USB mini connection.
Oh, mini.
Comes with the cable. It does not come with a brick. So you would need a brick, or you would need something to plug that into in order to power the device.
Or you can put it in AA's, I believe.
4 AA batteries. So it does have that. Now, it looks like, and I'm going to date myself, a CD Walkman. Looks exactly like, to me, the size of what a CD Walkman would be. On the right side, you've got a knob to turn it on. It's an on and volume knob. On the left side, you've got the connection for power, the mini port. Underneath, you've got 4 feet, and you've got the battery compartment underneath. You just pull the little tab like you would on any device that has a battery cover, lift it up, and there are your 4 AA batteries.
You don't get batteries included in the box?
No, you don't.
So you'll have to get batteries and put those in yourself.
On the top, you've got 3 buttons, kind of a play pause button, a left button, and a right button. And that's how you deal with the thing. Above the play pause button, there's a speaker. What I've found is to take the medicine, because the RFID tag is on the bottom of the bottle. What I've found the best place to put the bottle is just behind the speaker. So you do that.
So closer to the back of the machine.
Correct. But not on the speaker. I was doing it on the speaker, and it didn't work out too well. So if I turn this on.
Hang on just a second. Before you do that, let's mention something else. If you don't want to use the speaker,
there's
do
a headphone
have
jack.
A headphone jack. And that's pretty close to the USB-C, or I'm sorry, mini USB port?
No, it's on the front right edge. I just put my hand on it.
So that's good to know as well. There's no Bluetooth.
No.
But you do have the physical hardware to plug in headphones.
So if I turn it on.
Spoken RX. Ready.
And it beeps twice.
So it tells you it's ready.
It's actually ready. So if I hit the play pause button.
Patient name. Christopher Nova. Drug name. 25 milligram tablet. Instructions. Take 1 tablet 25 milligrams total, by mouth in the morning and before bedtime. Important information. Take this medication with food may cause drowsiness and dizziness. Careful using vehicle, vessel, machines. Prescription number. Quantity, 180. Refills remaining, 1. Prescriber name. Fill date, February 2nd, 2026. Discard after date, February 1st, 2027. Pharmacy phone number.
And it's done.
So I will be taking out the doctor's name, pharmacy phone number, and medication name. But the rest you'll be able to hear, and you'll know what I've taken out. That gives you an idea what they actually do. Let's scan another one and show them.
Let's try something different.
Okay.
It's trying to scan. Mm-hmm. Now, if I put the medicine there,
Patient name, Christopher Nova. Drug name.
it'll stop it. Now, you notice how fast it took, and it beeps faster when it recognizes the RFID tag to let you know.
It's like hot and cold. Getting hotter, getting hotter, getting hotter.
Right. So now if I hit the forward button,
Instructions. Take 1 tablet.
hit it again,
Instructions. Take 1 tab. Important information. Take in the evening. Prescription number.
I just paused it. If I want to change the speed, which is kind of cool, you can press and hold either left or right.
Voice speed adjustment. Use the up and down buttons to change the voice speed. Press the read button to select this voice.
So read button
Voice
is
speed adjustment.
play pause.
Is the play
Use
pause.
the up and down buttons to change the voice
So
speed.
now,
Voice speed adjustment. Use the up and down buttons to change the voice
Let's go slower.
speed. Spell mode. Use this mode to spell out information related to each prescription scanned.
So let's try this.
we won't show
Use
it.
this mode to spell out information related to each
We can show the first part of it because it doesn't have to show the prescription. It will spell your prescription, though, but it'll spell other things, too.
patient name.
See?
CHRISTOPH.
Okay, we're going to pause that.
We know how to spell his name. It will actually spell the important information. So if you don't know how to spell your medication name, you can go into the spell mode, and that's by pressing and holding the left or right arrow to go into the speed control, and then pressing your left arrow multiple times until you get to spell mode, and then pressing the read button,
Right.
what
so
we were calling
let's
play pause.
speed this up.
So press and hold the left or right.
Spell mode. Use this mode to voice speed adjustment.
Whee!
Use the up and down buttons to change
Fast.
the voice. Voice speed adjustment. Use the up and down buttons to change the voice.
And you just pressed read again, the middle button.
It's now that speed. If I were to move the medicine and try and scan again,
It's just making a steady beep. Continues to beep. It's waiting for you to put meds there.
yes, and it will eventually time out.
It
or
will time out in
should
just a
eventually
second.
time out. It
Warning.
just did.
Unable to read label.
So if it
It is
can't,
very important that you do not make guesses as to the contents or directions for this prescription. If you continue to have difficulties, contact a caregiver to read this prescription, or contact your pharmacy.
it's trying to warn you. It's trying to save you from yourself if you are, in fact, trying to read a medication and you've got it turned wrong, or you can't find the label,
Or the label just doesn't read.
yeah, or there is no label. You're trying to read someone else's meds that has no label. It's just trying to warn you to be careful there.
One more thing I want to show you, which is really cool.
This is so cool. I love this.
If you press and hold the read key or the play pause button, the play pause button, however, has a dot on it. So if I press and hold this,
Spoken RX User's Guide. Thank you for taking the time to listen to this audio version of the Spoken RX User's Guide. Here we will introduce you to how to use the reader, replacing the batteries, adjusting the voice, and provide you with the necessary precautions for using the product safely. You can also repeat the same introduction at any time by pressing and holding the oval center read button for 3 seconds. The portable Spoken RX allows you access to all of the information about your prescription when and where you need it.
okay. So we'll hit forward.
This special talk when a prescription. But first, here are a few very important safety
I
instructions.
can rewind if I missed.
This special talking label stores all the important information about.
I can pause it and see what happens if I play it. Nope.
Uh-oh.
So you don't press play.
You don't press the read button again.
Right. It won't read. It took me out of the documentation, but it's so easy to go back in.
Very easy. So play pause is not the best way for us to describe this button. It's a read button. And if you press it again, at least in this instance, in the user guide, it will take you out.
Right.
If you normally want to get out, you would press and hold the read button again, and it'll take you back out.
Or you could try scanning your medicine.
Yeah, or you can try scanning your meds.
The other cool thing that I got is I went to Target and I found a wire mesh basket. And I take the wire mesh basket and put medicine into the wired mesh basket so we know where everything is. And the reader is small enough where the reader also fits into this wired mesh basket.
And one of his meds needs to be cut, so we also have our little pill cutter in there too.
Right.
So it's really nice, and I'm teaching my husband the value of organization. So he's learning.
Sure.
Supposedly. So you can teach an old dog new tricks. You just have to work hard at it. But he does like his little basket, and it works very well for the purpose.
It does. It's perfect size.
Yeah, it works real well. So we've had a bit of a variety for y'all today. We hope you have enjoyed it. And we won't be back till March. I don't know where this month is gone, but it's going to be over.
It's the shortest month of the year.
It is, and there's no leap year, so it's even shorter.
Yep.
Hopefully the weather will be better next time we contact y'all, and we'll be back in touch. And may have some interesting information for you coming up here real soon, so stay tuned. Hope you've enjoyed this episode, and we will talk to you in March.
Bye.
Bye.
The preceding podcast is a presentation of Mystic Access, where the magic is in learning. If you are blind or visually impaired and wish to experience less stress and more fun on your unique assistive technology journey, our comprehensive audio documentation and additional offerings are here to support you. We welcome your visit at mysticaccess.com. That's mysticaccess.com. Have a question or wish to place an order via phone? Call us at 716-543-3323. If you have comments to share about this episode, follow our phone menu prompts to reach our Mystic Access podcast comment line. Email us at info@mysticaccess.com and connect with us on social media, Mastodon, mysticaccess.online, and facebook.com/mysticaccessempower. Would you like to spread the word about our podcasts? Anyone may explore our extensive archives and subscribe to receive our bi-weekly episodes at mysticaccesspodcast.com. If you enjoy our content, please consider rating and reviewing us on Apple Podcasts, TuneIn, Spotify, or your favorite podcast platform. Thanks for spreading the word and for being a listener. We hope you enjoyed this episode.